Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So today I would like to talk about mobile security fundamental. So this is an important part in our mobile application development. For the first one is what is a mobile application security? Our focus is how to come out with a secure mobile application, either Android, iOS or Windows platform. What is the common issue in what is the common issue in a mobile application? For the first one is of course we talk about the storing, and the second one is poor authentication. The third one is a data encryption, and the last one is transmitting sensitive data. So for the first one is storing or unintentionally leaking sensitive data means that someone sometimes we consider as a hackers, sometimes we consider as an outsider can read our data during transmitting. The second one is a poor authentication, such as your username and password. So, for example, current implementation is the minimum length for password is 8 character. So if you just enter less than 8 character, that one is we can consider as a poor authentication. And the next one is a data encryption method. Like say you send any data through internet. Of course, we need a good encryption method. So the common one is of course we talk about MD5, SHA, Bluefish algorithm, and we have more than others example for a data encryption method. And the last one is transmitting. Of course, if you transmit the data without any encryption method, of course, hackers or outsider can easily read your data during data transmission. What is a mobile application vulnerability? So this is a limitation or we consider it as a vulnerable. How to overcome the problem? So before we come up with the solution, of course, we need to find out the problem if the problem with vulnerability. For the first problem is insufficient session expired. Of course, during the login process, we need to enter a username and password. And during that, we need to declare the session. And once you log out, you need to destroy the session. This is example of the user sign out application. So supposedly your session must be automatically terminated. If you do have this kind of function, of course, outsider or hackers can easily trace your username and password. So the solution is the best practice, make sure logout button is implemented in the application. And second, when the user click this button, the session is properly invalidated, or sometimes we call as your session is automatically or properly terminated. So that one is a solution for the problem in sufficient session expiration. The second one is a brute force. What is a brute force? This is a common example. Let's say you go to any application. Of course, you need to enter your username and password. And sometimes when you enter the correct username and the message from the application is automatically displayed, your password is wrong. So it means that your username is correct. And another one is like say you enter incorrect username, but you enter a correct password. So the message we display username is wrong. So it means that your password is correct. So this is give the opportunities to hackers. So it means that like say they enter any correct username, but only incorrect password. So it means that press the enter or sign in button, login button. So of course the message is automatically displayed password is incorrect. So it means that your username is correct. So that's why the solution is the application should not reveal whether a username is valid. So means that either username is valid or invalid, so no need to display any message, but you can just display a message, username and password are invalid. That's all. The third one is client-side injection. Sometime for web application, I believe all of you know about SQL injection. So same like mobile application, also we have a client-side injection. Attacker normally can inject malicious code on the client side to detect the username and password. The solution is you need to validate all untrusted data. The second one is use a parameter. So never send data through internet, but please use a parameter. The next one is verify plugin support and JavaScript. And the last one is verify and action are validated through an intent filter. The next one is broken cryptography. If you still remember, the common problem in a mobile application is the common issue in mobile application security is data transmission without any encryption method. So here we need to apply any encryption method. This is an example of vulnerability in broken cryptography. As you know that, this is a few examples of an insufficient or weaknesses of the algorithms such as SHA1, RC2, MD5, MD4. So this is a common crypto. So never use this kind of algorithm. But the solution is avoid storing sensitive data on mobile device. But please store any sensitive data at the server side. So never save or never store any sensitive data in your mobile, or sometimes we call as a client side. So make sure you apply standard cryptography with modern attack. So we have a lot. For example, Blowfish algorithm. So that one is a better compared to this SHA1, RC2, MD5, and MD4. So this is a vulnerability. The next one is how to build a complete secure mobile application. We have a few elements must be considered during mobile application development. For the first one is try to write a secure code. According to research, about 11.6 million devices have been affected by malicious code. So this is a lot. 11.6 million devices. So that one is the most important is you need to write a secure code. One of the best practice is agile development. Why? Because you can patch and update your code easily from time to time. So that's why agile method or agile development is proposed for mobile application developments. The second one is encrypt the data. As I mentioned earlier, we have a lot of encryption method, but the most important is you need to choose a correct or standard encryption method. So the purpose is convert the data transmission into such a form that it cannot be read by anyone. So sometimes we consider as a hackers or outsider. The next one is be careful while using a library. Of course, during development, you need to apply more than one library in order to allow your application communicate with any existing library. So you need to check either that one is trusted library or standard library or not. So you need to check before you use that library. The next one is authorized API. We have an example of API, of course, from Google. API for Google Map, API for payment. So we have a lot of API standard. So you need to use only authorized API. High-level authentication. Very basic authentication is, of course, your username and password. If you use a poor authentication, of course, this is give the opportunities to most of hackers or outsider to inject into your application. So the basic one or the example of high level authentication, this is a basic. For example, your password. The minimum character must be 8 and above. And combination of character, special character, and also number. So that one is for authentication purposes. Next one is develop tamper detection technique. The purpose is give alert to you, like say any modification from the existing code. Once you get the alerts, means that you know someone or somebody has been changed the existing code. So this is the purpose. The next one is a proper session management. I already mentioned earlier. Once you log into the system or mobile application, you need to put log out button. Once you click log out, the session is automatically terminate or automatically, or sometimes we call as a proper invalidate. So that one is important. So the next one is use a good cryptography tool and techniques. As mentioned earlier, never use MD4, MD5, SHA-1. That one is proven not secure for mobile application, but use a good protocol such as AES and SHA-256. And the most important is never store your key on local device, but use the latest and trusted encryption method. And the next one is you need to test repeatedly. Once you build any mobile application, you build any mobile application, you need test your source code. You need to test your code repeatedly. Make sure make sure any error, any bug, and this is important for the security purposes. And you need to update with security trend in order to protect your application. You need to explore the latest trend, the latest information. You need to find out how attacker or hackers have an opportunity to hack your application. You need to read more article to get the information for you to build a good security for your mobile application. Okay, that's all for mobile security fundamental. So we learned about the common issue in mobile application. We also talk about mobile application vulnerability. And the last part is how to build a secure mobile application. That's all. Thank you.